David Aldridge, Brent Barry, Steve Smith, and I am Rick Kamla, and it is time to talk about the NBA draft. What do you say we show you the draft order right now? I know the finals are going on. We're sinking our teeth into that, but right after the finals end, all of the talk turns to the NBA draft. Let's show you the order right here. Of course, the Wizards won the lottery. They will pick first. Philadelphia, we're going to talk about them in a moment. They go second. The New Jersey Nets, who just added Avery, they pick third. My Wolves go fourth. The Sacramento Kings at 5. Warriors 6. Pistons 7. They're hoping that's a lucky pick for them. The Clippers at 8. Utah with a pick they got from the Knicks. They go 9. Indiana, New Orleans, Memphis, Toronto, and Houston round out the lottery teams. And so it's time to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. They have had a very mixed bag of picks through the first two. They will be going to here. Is Evan Turner just absolutely a lock for them at number 2?
Nope. He's not a lock at all.
Who else could they take?
Well, they're going to have a workout on the 19th for DeMarcus Cousins and Derek Favors, so I would tend to believe that they're looking at those two also. Look, they've got a lot of options that they can go in. They can take Evan Turner. He's a safe pick. He's an excellent player. Put him in the backcourt with Jrue Holiday. It makes lots of sense. But you got to look at their future. They got Sam Dallenberg in the last year of his contract. One way or another, he's not going to be on their team next year. So they need to get a center. So DeMarcus Cousins makes a lot of sense. But then you look at Derek Favors from Georgia Tech. I've been told, and I wrote this in the Morning Tip a couple of weeks ago, Chris Collins, Doug Collins' son, is the associate head coach at Duke, a big Derek Favors fan. So is Michael Curry, who most people believe Doug Collins is going to put on his staff, also a big Derek Favors fan. So those are two people that could really push Doug towards Derek Favors. So I think that there's a lot of options. They have a lot of ways that they can go with that second pick.
I understand. Turner or Favors? I mean, if you had the number 2, who are you taking?
Well, I think the safe pick, like DA says, is Evan Turner because I've seen him play a lot. Also Favors, but I think when you're talking about a guy ready to play right now, I go with a guy that's unselfish. You know, you go with Evan Turner right now over Favors. I love Favors. He's a big body, but it still is a question mark on how good will he be. So for me, it's Evan Turner. He showed in college that he's ready to play right now and make an impact. I think the Philadelphia 76ers need a guy ready to play right now.
Bones, break the tie.
Well, I like Evan Turner for them. I mean, I don't think you can add enough talent to your roster, and we're talking about probably the second most talented kid and NBA ready in terms of comparisons to Brandon Roy, fair or unfair. That's pretty good company. I think the most interesting dynamic for Doug Collins, though, going into the summer is the recovery of Elton Brand. We know there's a relationship there, obviously, with Chris going to Duke and still being at Duke, but Doug has spent a lot of time with Elton Brand, and you know that's a focus, that if he can get inside out, they have Holiday and Iguodala, can he resurrect Elton Brand and get him in positions next year where he's able to score? Because I think last year he took a lot of unfair criticism in Eddie Jordan's style of play, not really a post-up style. And I think Doug is going to find ways to put EB back in positions where he can regain some of his form.
And Smitty, you've been talking for a couple of years about ever since Brand went to Philly that he needs to move to the 5. And I think Doug may go that way, especially if Samuel Dallenberg gets dealt at the deadline, before the deadline, which definitely could go down with his expiring contract. Now, we mentioned that the 76ers going 1 or 2 have had a mixed bag. So let's take a look at the history. Since 1966, when the Sixers are going 1 or 2, they definitely nailed that one in 73, taking Doug Collins. Had a wonderful career with Philly. Now, obviously, their head coach. Number 2 in 74 was Marvin Barnes. In 93, they took Sean Bradley, number 2 overall. Blocked a lot of shots, didn't do much else. Obviously, this one was the nail on the head. AI taking number 1 overall in 96. Van Horn in 97. Then he was traded to the Nets on draft day. So that is the draft history. 1 or 2 for the 76ers. We'll be right back to wrap up the show after this.